Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Create Astral. I've been quite busy over the last however many days. Kind of took pretty much all of yesterday and a little bit of this morning to kind of get a few things done for us, so that we can kind of move out of this little shack. And I have kind of since moved the majority of the junk out of the shack that we don't need, because I did some work with our cool little tunnel bore after I did a couple of other things to it. So we'll talk about it really quickly. In order to make it majorly automatable, we needed deployers. Well, they need polished rose quartz. Polished rose quartz, it's kind of one of those things where if you know where you're going with this, you kind of look at that and you go, maybe you need to, you're done. You can't do anything. So polished rose quartz is technically a rose quartz, which is nether quartz. Nether quartz, I stopped right there and I was like, well, I'm kind of messed up. I don't know how I'm going to be able to make this thing work a little better than I did. And then I looked at a couple of other things, and that is the fact that we can mill diorite into, rose quartz at a 25, or nether quartz at a 25% chance. So I have kind of completed a few more of the chapters, or a few more of these lines up here, because I was needing the materials, I was needing the machine in order to be able to do the digging that we needed to do, because it's a mountain and it's taken a fair amount of digging to get done. So we'll go check it out in a minute, but I did do a few more little things. Nothing really major was, they just, make this, get one, make this, get one, kind of thing. Had to make, more mechanical drills. We did find some diamonds finally, so I took the mechanical drill down there and took care of that. The mechanical mixer should have worked. I don't know why this didn't open up. We'll have to go take care of that one, because we had to make that. Encased fans, of course, because, when you need to be able to replace a whole bunch of things, the quickest way to do any kind of smelting is with an encased fan, and some lava and stuff like that, and a mechanical saw, because, well, we'll go talk about the first thing right now, and that's because I have to fix the thing right now. Actually, it should be correct and working. So due to the pain that is a little bit of this early game create, we don't have a lot of stress units, but we do have the ability to automate a lot of things, one of which is, well, when you start learning how to use these cart assemblers, or these cart machines, or these cart contraptions, you can kind of do a fair amount of stuff with it. So what we've kind of, what I've been doing is farming every tree I can get my hands on, and it's now the rubber tree's turn, because we need rubber for just about everything. This stuff right here. So you're getting rubber using a mixer, but you take the sap that you're going to be able to either use through the little thing that I don't currently have, the tree tap, and you can tap it on these little things that look like this, or I guess later on there's going to be a sap collector we can attach to those as well. But you can also just, mill the, where did it go? Come here, you. I'm still learning. If you click on stuff over here, it shows you the recipe that you can do, but you can't click on anything over here to get it to do the work. So you have to kind of click on the center section here to get the deal. But yeah, we can just mill a log. So all I need to do is just grow trees. Well, so I kind of, did a thing here, whereas we took four. This is another minecart contraption, and let me get it to pick up so we can go look at it down here out of the way, and then we'll send it on its merry way. But essentially, what we're doing with this is, nope. You go this way. Thank you very much. Essentially what I'm doing here is I'm using 4 deployers to use whatever type of sapling that I tend to program in here. So if I were to shut this off and set it up, I have a sapling specifically set in every one of those deployers that it is allowed to put down on the ground. And the fun part about a deployer is it needs to be at least the face of the deployer, that spot right there, not the hand. That spot needs to be 2 blocks away from the area you want to interact with. So that's kind of the way that one works. So what happens here is we have saw blades that come along, and these saw blades, of course, this whole thing is all glued together, cuts down the tree, and it also collects all of the saplings and the sticks and everything else that comes out of there, and it puts it in this chest. And then it takes these saplings and gives every one of these guys a sapling. And, well, then they can plant things as they need to plant things. So we'll let it go do its work. It'll probably be slow for a second until it catches the first thing, and then yoink, yoink, yoink. And you can watch them plant the saplings right behind it as it gets them. And then it goes to the end down here, and then we use an inventory or portable storage interface to basically remove whatever's left out of that barrel, and then it's stuck here because it can't move. But as soon as we turn that back on, it'll sit there and run back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then we take these rubber logs and we put them in a millstone that is going to sit over here and chew that stuff into here. So it's loud and annoying and horrible, and I know, I apologize. Everything is kind of loud over here right now. Let me turn that down a ways so we can kind of deal with it. The other thing we need to do right now, since for whatever reason it didn't count it, is this. There we go. All right, cool. So that opened up the mechanical mixers things into here, heated, superheated things and stuff. That will open up the next chapter, or chapter 2, so we can get a few things done. I'm going to leave the train portion here alone until we get into needing trains. I'm going to go over here because everything in his brother is loud as heck. But we're going to, we've done what we've needed to do over here, kind of just getting a few things done as far as things go. And it's required me to, basically it's required me to do some stuff because I've needed to be able to, move a few things from here to behind us, and also do a lot of digging. So we're going to let this kind of run and do what it needs to do, and it'll make us a bunch of rubber so that we can make all the things that we need. Doink. And I have to be very careful with this because it's too big. I'm going to when we make the next one, in the mountain over there. It is not going to be near this big, but it does the work. So we'll just kind of let it keep working. So I have moved everything out of this area into another location. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down again in case I need it. And essentially what you do in order to get to the next step is you take sap and you toss it in here, and then it'll do this. And then I've got that deployer right there just so it'll kind of spit it out so I can kind of just pick things up as we go. I will be automating this considerably better once we get a few things done, but it's going to just take a little bit more time. A lot of the recipes have been changed from where we were with the, like I said, the stock standard create. Almost all of the recipes have been changed, so it's required me to do a little bit more work than I wanted to do, but hey, it is what it is with the way things go. So the pain, again, as we saw, was the andesite and the andesite alloy and a few other things. The belts themselves, they have been changed. So the belts require both dried kelp and the rubber. If we want to make any of the funnels, funnel, the funnels require rubber instead of dried kelp. And of course, this one requires an electron tube, which here's where another pain point comes. Granted, it's going to require us to make brass, which in order to get brass, we have to get a blaze burner. But it also requires us to make rose gold, which is going to be molten copper over a heated thing, molten copper, molten gold over a heated blaze burner, and a long time into some of the other things. So I'm assuming because there is a Hephaestus melter, this little structure right here, that there is also going to be the melter, because I would really, really like to get away from what we're doing here. I did go ahead and build a couple of tools that we can kind of play with, mainly because it was the best tools that I could possibly put together at this point in time, just to do the work that we needed to do the work on. And I guess I can put this over here. But we need to go next door and go look at a few things after the sun comes back up. Actually, no. Sleeping bag. Not expensive, just wool tarp. Wool tarp is just this into that. So, happen to shear a few sheep. Now we can sleep wherever the heck we want to. Moving things out of here was a pain too. I went ahead and made a backpack. Although this backpack is not amazing, it is, it does what it needs to do. It's a lot of little bitty parts, so this is a lot of crafting. Straw is only got, which kind of sucks, from cutting rice. So you have to grow rice to get one piece of straw, and it's a 50% chance. And then you, of course, have to make all the other things. So leather pouch. This doesn't do anything at all other than allow you to pack things away. And then, of course, another sleeping bag, barrel, things, stuff like that. So it did make one. It is over there. This has been more usable, mainly because of just how we've had to do things. So I'm going to leave everything sit here. We're going to let all these trees grow. Probably let's just let it grow up, because I don't want to not be here where it's here. And we will probably be bringing things back over here very shortly, because we want to get into Chapter 2 today. I wanted to get as far as I could to this thing because I need to get into chapter 2, because chapter 2 I'm hoping is going to allow us to do a little bit of stuff that will eventually be able to make our lives a little bit easier. My biggest problem right now is utter lack of iron. It's been a royal pain in the tail to do a few things, to the point that I've even kind of done a little bit of testing with our other machine. So anyhow, let's go take a look at the face of the mess that I have been working on pretty much all day yesterday. And we've got the first floor kind of somewhat started. So we'll just do that. I found a neat little flat spot that was allowing us to be able to stick that out. So we're going to have stuff over there. Of course, that continues all the way out. This first floor over here that we're going to go look at really quickly is mainly just going to be storage and our small beginner workshop, because we're going to have to make a bigger one. And of course, we have the entryway of which we have to go through. I think we're probably going to build a kind of a little sitting area, maybe bedroom behind that thing. Not like I ever really care about that kind of stuff, but I do want to kind of make use of either that waterfall or the cave that's over there. But let's go check it out. It's been a lot of fun, and thank God, and I'm not kidding, thank goodness for the tunnel bore, of which we're going to put to use a little bit today. So, deep slate, I'm enjoying the heck out of deep slate. It is such a good looking block, and either the regular smooth stuff, the stuff that has been cooked, or the regular cobbled deep slate can make just some really, really, really nice textures. I love this. That's just polished cobbled deep slate. It's just crafted that way. It's gorgeous. Tiles, we have to use our cutter to do a few things. Plus, I went ahead and got a couple of little crimsite blocks. Not 100% sold on the red yet, but I do kind of like the design that I came up with in here just to kind of start with. Every crossroads is going to have some kind of a little design on the floor, something kind of like that. Again, just tossed a bunch of stuff down to try to come up with a few things. I like this circular pattern. It's something that I've done before, and I do enjoy it. And I do like the mix of the various little wall sections and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Like it. I love these things. That just no particles from torches. So did go ahead and dug several pathways through the mountain. So we'll have one that goes clear out to this side, so that we'll be able to overlook our clowns over here when we do decide to make a mob farm out of that, if I ever do. It might be something we do, it might not be, I don't know. Again, I'll be digging this wall out here fairly soon, but essentially, looking at it with the map that we have now, we have one major long kind of corridor that we'll look at in a second. So, um, probably what's going to happen right in here is we're going to either be doing tree farming or basic farming, just whatever for the food and whatnot that we need. We are going to be trying to make some really fun foods later on as we go down the line, because there's some really good stuff, because we have Farmer's Delight and Cooking with Blockheads, I think, or whatever it's called. And then the whole back side of this area is going to be where we do a lot of the processing of everything else. So we're not necessarily just going to limit ourselves to the main level, this one level that I kind of jumped into. We're going to limit ourselves only in the fact that if I have to, I will go up and down or wherever we need to go to do it. So the workshop slash current little baby storage room, and I'm going to call this little baby storage room for right now. It's not going to be able to hold a lot, but it should do what I need to do for right now. Thank goodness for these crude storage units. This has been absolutely just the greatest thing in the whole wide world. And plus, like I said, if you want to go, if you need to take a bunch of cobblestone or something with you, you just grab the thing and walk off with, 2048 of it or whatever that's in those things. Storage is just for random miscellaneous junk right now. We'll have to come up with a lot of the other things. Plus, I guess I can look at it that way. Mob drops, plants, things, stuff down here the line. I did take a look a little bit at the packages, and I'm not impressed. They're cheap. They're basically a little bitty version of this. And really, all the difference between this and this is a piece of paper. I mean, these are, a couple of pieces of wood and an ingot and a die, which is a pain. And this is mainly just wood and paper, and it holds a heck of a lot more stuff. So, yeah, we'll definitely kind of have to kind of mess around with that stuff. The other thing is, I did go ahead and make the chipped, or was it glass forge, this thing right here, just so that I could get access to all of this glass. And in reality, all I really wanted was that one, because that one is reasonably clear. At least it's clear-ish, and it has a nice little gray border that kind of matches with the design that I kind of want to play with, which is going to be something a little, I guess, like this for now. We may change this up as we go through, and I'm not 100% finished with this room because I need to kind of actually start working on the actual workshop. But I figured this would be a good place to just kind of toss our stuff down and not have to worry about it. So I guess going on, what I want to do today, again, we're going to do a little bit more, but today I want to kind of show you what I did do with this thing. So I did automate it just ever so slightly more, so we can go ahead and take a look at it, I think, in here, and it won't hurt anything. So we'll put one of those down and we'll face you that direction. Okay. So when we left off, we just had this little front section right here and the minecart that it sat in. I've since added a couple of deployers. This deployer can place down a redstone block, and this deployer can place down a powered rail. Now, there are many ways of powering these things. You can actually use a furnace minecart if you want to, but that requires coal, which means when you run out of coal, you're done. And we're even going to have to do a little bit further work on this later on when I do decide to turn this thing loose on the world and I start making more and more and more and more and more of these. The beauty of these minecart contraptions, just as a really quick thought, is the fact that you can attach as many of these mechanical drills to the front of the thing as you want to. And it'll power it. It's awesome. So like I could make a chunk eater out of this with just these things and a whole bunch more stuff. But we're going to have to kind of prepare it for that because I've already had to do that when we were in here. There's a cave right above us in here, and then there was a cave kind of over here, and there was a cave cutting through the main pathway that caused it to stop. But what we can do is we can take a deployer, put it right there, and have it place, well, like right here actually, and have it place like cobblestone blocks down so that it can then travel forward. So what we do after that whole mess is that, well, I need to be able to pick up my powered rails. So we're using a mechanical plow, which that's what it's designed to do, is to pick entities up off the ground like minecart rails or torches or things like that. Like we could be theoretically powering these rails with redstone torches, but the problem with redstone torches is that if you have water drop down or lava drop down, and then something like that happens, it'll wash the torches away and the things will stop. So not a good deal. The other thing is we have added storage to the side of the machine so that it has places to put things. When I decide to turn this thing loose again on the world, it will get a whole lot more storage and you'll be taking things and doing whatever. So the final thing is you have another drill on the side here to pick up the redstone blocks so that it can continue to move forward and recycle things over and over and over again. So for giggles, let's go turn this thing loose down here and start cutting us a new pathway through the mountain. So essentially what I want to do is we're going to leave the walls really thick, at least this as thick as this is. This is pretty wide right here. It's like 5 blocks, 6 blocks, 7 blocks wide. And the reasoning why I want to do that is because we're going to need space eventually to be able to run belts and wiring and well, things and stuff like that, and I don't necessarily want to say we're going to see it all the time. Now, I might maybe run the shafts through some of this area, but I'm not exactly 100% set on that right now. So what we got to do is I think we'll start. Well, I need to start working on the factory section. So let's do this for funsies. I need to do 1, 2, 3 there. I need to dig it out just a little bit so that it can capably run from one end of this thing to the other without getting stuck, which they usually won't. But we'll dig a little bit of a starter area for it. And then I need it to dig from one side of the mountain to the other right here. So we'll try this, put you down. Did you fit perfectly? Good. Okay, that just barely stuck itself into the wall. It's technically not in the wall. I mean, technically it's not replacing the block, so it won't really matter. And then all I got to do is this and that and push. Of course you did. Come on, go forward, do what I told you to do. There you go. And I need to go find my torches. Probably need to sleep too. I probably need to make a few more torches too. Let's see. I need a little bit of stuff. Actually use the non-expensive stuff. It's the beauty of having a tree farm. I now have all the charcoal in the world. That was the other problem I was having, is the not doing very well with coal until I started digging over here, which was weird. So we'll get in there, make sure that thing doesn't take off and leave us. Like we're talking about right there. So it's going to fall in a hole. No, almost caught it. So it'll fall in a hole right here. It's one of those things I have to kind of consider on working on when we're playing with this thing, is because of the fact it does do silly things. So we'll do this back. I know there's a cave in this thing. Go back to work. But we need to start working on a new area to work in, because I need to be able to move all of that machinery over here. I love it. But I'll probably quit. I think probably when we hit right about, we'll probably stop at about right here, and then essentially all I do is back it up and turn it around and just keep sawing through here until I get enough stuff. So we'll probably, I'm just kind of showing you guys out what we're going to do here. And then we're going to go make some grout and go on and do what we need to do to get into the next section. But yeah, I think the next big step for me is to probably add about 6 more drills to the outside of this thing, just so it'll chop a little faster. But it does work. I mean, considering the amount of energy and time it takes to get this to work, this is just perfect. I love it. Where are we? We're right where I want to be. Stop. And then you pick it up, you pick the junk up. Put a torch down, and you run down to the other end and start over. All right, so we'll stop right there for today. I'm going to probably just go ahead, like I said, and make a few more drills and hang it to the side of it. But in reality, it doesn't take very long to core out a decent amount of an area. The only problem is I should have made it, well, another block taller, because I ended up cutting out at least most of the stuff in here. But, you know, like I said, it that saves me so much time, especially when I did this one, because I just turned it loose and then did a few other things, because it got to the other end of the passageway because I wanted it to punch out of the mountain, and it just stopped. So it's like, well, this is really cool. Now, I know there are ways to get them to stop. I do think you can probably like mess around with some non-movable objects or something like that, or something that can't be broken or easily messed around with anyhow, either way, and it'll take care of the problem. But fun part is, to unload, it's not very all that hard. I think the one thing I will do eventually with this is I'm going to add the inventory accessible thingy. So is it it's over there, the thing that we had on the other side of the other one, so that I don't have to do this part. But essentially, if you want to empty it, you just put this down, you set the cart assembler back on top of it, and it disassembles the machine so that you can then access everything that it picked up. And it also allows you to put everything back in. So we're getting all kinds of cobblestone and a little bit of stuff here and there. And what do you got in you? Nothing? Okay. And then when you're ready to put it back together, you just do, well, I guess I can do it with the redstone that I have. Nope, we need a torch. Not torch, lever. Lever's fine. Again, sitting down here, make sure that that is set to lock rotation so that it won't turn around, and then put this on it. I think did it change? Okay. Sometimes you got to worry about it, and then it'll do this. It'll pop up in the air, and you go, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and that can go wherever it needs to go. So it's just ready to go for the next time I need to do something with it. All right, that was a whole lot more cobblestone than I needed at this point in time, but that's okay. We'll deal with that another time. We've got most of our stuff available over here. So I have to run back over. It needs 32. Is that what it says? 32 grout in order to get into this next chapter. So grout is not awful. Okay. I thought that was going to be worse than that. That's just a bunch of andesite. Well, let's say that's what. Okay. The only problem I haven't been doing is I haven't been keeping gravel. Let me see. I think I have a bunch of gravel over there. And I need that and some zinc. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the silly machine on and let it go do its thing. Sadly, this is probably going to be the one we're going to have to spend the most time playing with, just because of the fact that we're not going to be keeping any of that wood. All of that wood, every single piece of it, is going to be processed into rubber eventually, and then that'll do that. Nice. Couple stacks. That'll work for me. Get to work on that. That's cool. You go do this. That'll be a bunch of rubber. Then we'll work on automating this eventually. But I need one more piece of stuff, right? One more piece of gravel. I left all the gravel over here because, who needs gravel, right? I need gravel because gravel is a thing. So, this... Come on. This, and that. Give me all of it. Nice. 32 grout. I guess you can keep running. And then we look over here. That's going to give us access to this chapter. So a sniffer egg, more andesite casing, cogwheels, gearboxes, amazing, more water wheels, shafts, and a large cogwheel, a couple of them. All right, cool. What else is here? Oh, yeah, that one right there. Give me those gearboxes. I haven't made a single gearbox yet because I kind of knew that was coming. All right, so again, we're going to save this for later. We'll save this for when we decide we want to get into the trains, and we do have computer craft. I have not messed with a turtle in I don't even know how long, so might even try doing some turtles. Anyhow, getting industrial. Oh, my. So... yeah. See, I've already kind of done some of this stuff, mainly because I had to. Things heat up. Spies in my rubber. What's this? Things heat up. Okay. Now, the manufacturing will become more complicated as your crafting techniques expand and resources begin requiring multiple steps. It all builds on the stuff you've already learned, so it's about improving your craft. Gathering, managing those resources become more and more of a hassle. You need to begin semi-automating or fully automating basic resources. Crafting on demand will become unsustainable. Really? All right, cool. Yeah, looks like it just fairly standard old tell me how to do things because I know I'm fixing to get into some serious stuff. Harness the power of the wind, an alternative. Now, windmills, we're not even going to bother with those. Triple compressed andesite. Format error, doing a lava water generator over triple compressed andesite increases your gains all the way to 100% andesite. That being said, triple compressed andesite might be more andesite than you realize. Yeah, I know it is. I'm not really worried about the andesite. 32 seared brick. Ball blast or furnace stuff that we just got. Let's go ahead and toss that down right there. Get it to work. And I'm going to go shut this thing off because it's loud. Got some more stuff. Ha! Nice. And seared bricks. All right, 32 seared bricks. Now, it has been forever and ever and ever since I have messed at all with a tinker smeltery. So, puny smelting, bulk blast, all this depot. Depot might be a good idea. Bulk blasting is heavily slowed in Astral. Is that why it's been taking so long? Okay. Well, we'll have to fix that problem when the time comes. So I will take your puny smelting book, which will tell us how to do the work. Again, all of the fun things that exist. So nice. And what else? seared melter, the fluid age, a seared melter, and a seared heater, and a bunch of stuff. So time to learn how to do all that fun stuff. Cool. Let's go work on this really, really, really quickly, and then I think we can probably call it for the day. I just don't want to be outside in the rain, and I think it's probably getting to be about time. No, it's daytime, 9 o'clock. Great. So everything is going to be that way with us today. Cool. All right. So you want me to make a seared melter, which everything is back over at the other base. This is the only problem with having our tools over here, and a seared heater is all of that. Well, I can make that at least. I think once we have all this stuff done anyway, we won't ever have to come back over here to do that kind of stuff. So you continue to do the work. Thank you very much. I will see you guys over there. Okay, got everything we need to do over here. Grabbed most of that stuff, brought it back over. We still have some more things I need to do, and man, do I need to get some of this stuff going. So you need to make a melter. Once we get a melter going, I think we can just make these things however, if I'm correct. So I need 4 seared bricks, and what does it take to make a tank? I probably already screwed up because I need to make plates. Yep, I need to go over there and make some plates. I promised myself I wasn't going to move that stuff over here just yet, but it's going to get to the point where if I got to do it one more time, I'll think about it. Seared melter requires a fluid tank, which is a barrel, which I know I have laying around in one of these drawers, and some zinc. So you click to there, this go. And I think that might be a thing. Put that on the ground, pick it back up. I know there's another one in the chapter like over here that's going to probably ask for that. And let me see. One more deal here. You just need those. Oh, come on. Seriously, slime balls? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so I got to go back over there and make more stuff. One more second. Okay, can we craft it right here then, since I'm standing here with all the stuff? Craft part melter. Amazing. Cool. That's going to get us come on. Recognize it. Thank you. All right, nice. So there's the melter done. We get us yeah, I guess that's an all right axe. Some coal and some more seared bricks. Okay, cool. So that means we can do things in the smallish little dude here. That's great. That's wonderful. We should be able to kind of figure things out. It's probably going to want us to do next into a seared faucet. Yeah, okay. So seared faucet. We'll just keep cranking these out until I get to a point where I'm ready to go. 1, 2, 3. You do that. Faucet. Okay. And then you want me to do okay, basin and thing like always. So you're going to do that to me, aren't you? How do we make seared bricks again? It used to be you could do seared stone. So that's grout. Okay. So if you make a pattern, where's the seared brick? What is it? Alt click, let go. Okay, cool. Seared stone. That thing can be cast using the thing that I have and a brick mold, an ingot mold. I got to do all that fun stuff. I don't have any gold on me right now. Let's go back over here. I just want to make sure I have all the little things done before we end today, because I'm going to need to then build me some new parts for my tools that I currently have. And I think with that, we can actually start looking at getting into some of the Tinkers or Hephaestus armor, which might be a little bit of fun, considering that we can do all kinds of really neat stuff with that stuff. Apparently, I've not seen it. I just kind of stumbled upon it as I was wandering through things. I'm just trying to make the most out of all of this grout that I've got at this point. So again, yeah, it's just one brick. Okay, cool. Well, cook it. Casting table. And I guess we can immediately work on getting that going. So, how many gold ingots stake? Ingot cast is 1 ingot. That's nice of them. And you need some fuel. Cool. I'll take one of those since it's the only ingot we've got. Nice. All right, cool. And you, once you get all those done, will make us a thing. Cool. Last 2. Seared drain. Awesome. So you go like that. Make sure I pick it up. Task completed. Everybody's happy. How much stuff have we got? So it made me another one anyway. Ingot sandcast. I don't think that's the one I want anyway. I think that's going to be pretty sorry. So yeah, then we get more things. Automate copper. Could sure use more copper. Wow. Now, no, I don't need any of that either. That's going to be a while from now. So then again, gold cast reusable. Of course, we just made one. We've known that for a while. Collect them all. Eventually, not right now. Good. We can make wire through those. This also should mean that I can upgrade this thing to the thing that, well, not this thing. The, where did I put that thing? This thing to the thing that will let me make the better tools. So I'll be able to make a 3x3 hammer, and I should be able to make a, I think, a lumber axe. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on what all this stuff says. I got to get out of that menu. But that should at least allow us to make a hammer. And yeah, awesome. Cool. All right. I will see you guys in the next one. I've got a lot of work to do still. I need to finish doing all this goofiness back here. I'm going to go ahead, and the reason why we cut 2 paths is that the machine should fit in here this direction now. So then all I'm going to do, I think, is just go harvest a little bit more iron from God knows where. I'm not finding any, make it a little bit wider, and then just start sending it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and sawing away this mountain so that we'll have plenty of room to build things. We will, I'm just going to saw it out. I'm not even going to bother trying to make it look pretty. I think we'll start right here, whatever I'll do 5 or 6 in and then just go and then just start sawing back and forth until there's absolutely nothing left of this side. And that'll allow me to come back in and organize it the way that I want to and build things the way that I want to. But I guess until then, I will see you all in the next one. It's a nice, pretty shiny night out here and the mobs aren't bothering us today. So I'll see you all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. I see you.